Friday.
Wins and lessons.
Wins and lessons. Yeah, I can't tell you how much I love that wins and lessons. And you know what I think? I think would be cool today is why don't we go live real time and see who comes in on the chat overlay.
Oh,
So
I
we got
like
this chat
it.
overlay thing that we kind of never
Yeah.
use in this session because we kind of keep it on the side. But I think if we do an overlay, and maybe I'll even have to change the background. And we got Lisa who took the title
Uh-oh.
today from
She
Jeff.
could. She couldn't let Jeff do it. She couldn't let Jeff. She
Yeah,
had to take. She had to go into the weekend strong. Shout out, Lisa. Good job.
that's it. That's it. So
Uh-oh.
wins and lessons Friday. Wow, what a big one.
I have like a light show going on. My power just flickered, and now I
Oh no, it's
gotta.
still going on. You got like some rave going on back there. I'm waiting for you to start
Yeah.
going.
Sorry, yeah. Okay. Wins and
If
lessons
DJ jumps up with
Friday.
a glow stick, everybody just hold on tight
We're
because
having a
it's
dance party over here. No, it's my LED. The damn lights. They flickered, and then now my thing's going crazy. So
yeah. I
yeah.
swear to God, you're gonna have like go dancers coming around in the background in a second here or something. That's crazy. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good
Greg, you were
morning,
not first,
everybody.
my friend. You were close.
Yes,
You were
you were
off by
close, Greg.
about 20 seconds, so you were pretty close. Richard, good morning. Lisa says, "Woohoo!" Good morning, Antoine. And then Jeff says, "Let's." Lisa
Party,
says, "Let's party, DJ."
party,
Yeah,
DJ.
I'm
Hey,
telling you, you go
look.
get some. You go get
Thank
some
you.
glow sticks. You're gonna be
It's
like.
that's
What
the
what
best
did we
Friday
learn this
start
week?
ever.
I learned that I can dance on a Friday morning and feel good about it.
Yes,
And
yes.
yeah, I dance worse than a white guy, so you won't see me doing it, but
Oh gosh.
it's pretty bad. So
Yeah, that is bad.
wins and lessons, DJ. We were just talking about a little bit about it off air. Um, it's crazy how fast time's going. Like just yesterday, it was Monday, and we were doing Mayhem Monday, right? And
Mhm.
in today's show notes, I put something in that I don't normally put in. Like normally, it's like what win, what worked, what didn't, what flopped, and all that. And then today, for some reason, the thought process goes back to reflection.
Yes.
On Friday, because I don't, and everybody love your thoughts on it as well, and you too, DJ. I don't
Yep.
think there was one time in my career where I walked out on a Tuesday and I said, "Man, I really screwed the pooch this week and didn't do my job." Like
Mm.
I could screw the pooch every day, and on Friday it was like, damn, I wasted the whole week. And
Yes.
this is when we come up with on Monday. I'm gonna
Monday, I'm coming
crush
out
it Monday.
swinging.
Yeah, but it's like it tends to go all week. Like you never
Yeah.
do it on a Monday where you say, "Oh man, I really messed up today," and well, I never did anyways. And tomorrow, like it's gangbusters. It's on like Donkey Kong. We're gonna do it. It's like you blow the entire week of productivity, and then on Friday you're like, "Damn, I did
Yeah.
nothing."
What happened? That week's gone.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's other weeks where there's so much happening,
Mm.
and we still feel like we didn't get what we wanted to
I
get
love that you
accomplished.
said
You
that.
ever
Yep.
been there?
Oh yeah.
And and
Yes.
so I'm really starting to take Fridays. I mean, not that I do nothing, but I slow the schedule down for
Mhm.
Friday, and I do a lot of reflection, and I look back and
Yes.
I say, okay, and we've talked many times where my agenda, like I prioritize my days every morning. I usually do it at lunch, and like
Mhm.
things that I can move that aren't a priority for the day, I tend to try and move around in order to make things happen. And
Yes, sir.
this week had a couple of challenges, and one really big challenge was for some reason, and I don't know what it is still because I'm still trying to play catch up from it, but my calendars were not syncing on all my
Mm.
devices. And listen, like, come on, real, first world problem, right? Like,
Yeah,
oh my God, your
actually, shout
calendars
out
aren't
though
syncing.
anybody who has like the most amazing calendar because I've had the same issue. So
Hmm.
anybody who really does have a calendar app that actually syncs with everything, like Google Calendar,
Yeah,
Outlook, all this stuff, like give a shout out. I'll try anything at this point because yeah, I
me
had the
too.
same
Me
issue.
too. I was on the phone with a customer yesterday and they said Google. They use the Google Calendar and there's a Google Calendar app. And they said the only thing is like on your desktop, you got to pull it up on the web. Like it's an
Yeah,
actual it's open as a browser as opposed to like I'm on Mac, so
exactly.
everything's an app on the side.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll give that a shot. And you can like plug all your different emails into it and all your different calendars and like you can set it up with Apple. But yeah, if anyone has one, I'm all
Yes.
over that too,
Yes,
buddy.
please.
Please share.
Please.
And yeah,
I'm the same.
Lisa says, yeah, please share because I
What we
think
got? Yeah.
everybody's in that boat. And Jeff said, "Good morning, peeps." Jeff says he's late. Yeah. So
That's all
Jeff, that's
right.
okay, brother. You were only
Oh, look
3
at
minutes and
Greg.
53
No
seconds late.
detention, Greg. No detention.
Doesn't mean I get a detention. So it's yeah. So if any of y'all, so my big loss this week was I should have on Sunday night when I sit in bed and I open up my laptop, I looked at my week and I should have seen it there because I didn't. I didn't stop and say, well, that's unusual because the week seems kind of light. I knew there was meetings, and in my head I went, okay, maybe I didn't put them in my calendar. So I was like, okay, tomorrow morning when I get up, I think it's this time on this day, and I'm kind of playing that I think card. And I come, so I'm sending emails saying I'll send you the invite in the morning. This is the time. This is the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm pre-planning my week based on a calendar that I see has very few appointments. And then I come to my desktop and I open it up and I went,
You're like, what the?
oh my God. Like, I mean, DJ, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it was literally one after another after another. And we've talked about this before.
Yeah. The
I'm
biggest.
that 45 minute to an hour and I need to walk away,
Yeah.
reset, recharge, reinitiate my intention and come back.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I sat in here like from our show ends at 9:30 and I typically don't schedule anything until 10.
Yep.
From
Same here.
10 till 2 p.m. Literally back to back to back where I'm on one video and there's somebody waiting in the waiting room to
Oh,
close out to
geez.
go to another one and it's like and it was like my wife saying, "You need to eat. Like you need to eat. You need to eat." And I'm like, "I know, but I don't have time." And it was just, it was that at the end of the day, it's like you go and you shut it down, and you're just like, and you just want to pass right out, right? And it was just, I mean, listen, productive, yes, immensely.
Yeah.
So many different things that pull us. And as a sales rep, I remember those days when you say, I'm going to come in, I'm going to make sales calls, and this is what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden, all these things are pulling you, and you just feel like you're so stretched, right? And then at
Yes.
the end of the day, you're like, damn, I missed my sales call window. I'm going to do something else. And you know, this week taught me one big thing is to step back, take a deep breath, and really look at what is drop dead, everything is going to blow up priority. And I thought I did that, DJ, because I thought I've been doing this for a while. And this week I learned I'm not. Like
Mhm.
there's another level I can get to of that. And so I did. So for yesterday, I moved some things to today. Um, I appreciated people working with me to move them,
Yeah.
but then yesterday afternoon just kind of freed up.
Mhm.
Right, my our new puppy went in. She went in to get spayed, so
Yeah.
I'm like, so you got that stress where it's like, okay, when she gets home, she's going to be chock full of narcotics and just like lazing around, but you
Yeah.
also got to make sure she's settled, and then the other puppy doesn't want to play with her, and it's like, so you got all that worry, plus you got business, plus, and typically, I don't know about you, but like I'm typically working till 11:30 midnight kind of thing, just and not like, and I want to make this clear because it's not a oh my God, I got to. It's just one of these things where
Yeah.
I've got this time and I'm going to utilize it accordingly based on what I want to do. So it makes everything smoother, right? Because so, from like
Yes,
that
sir.
5 to 9, 5 to 10 is family time, is work time, meaning outside construction, sitting with my wife, watching some TV, just chilling
Yes.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
kind of get back
I
to it
do
for
the
two
same.
hours.
I've about the same. I've about the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my week, man. That the big thing for me again, calendar. If y'all know any calendars, I'm telling you right now, please share because
Day timer.
I well, I mean, but I use a day timer, right? But it's that week view, right? Where because I'm I'm a huge color guy, so
Yeah.
every single thing in my calendar,
Yeah.
like meetings are one color, sales
Yeah.
chatter's another color,
Yep.
video editing's another color, posting and social media is another color. Like everything's a color in my
Yeah.
schedule, and
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. I just I'm that type of person where I just like even in my agenda that I do, like it's all colors. I just use colors every day. And because I don't know, I'm just kind of a color geek, but
No,
whatever.
I
It is what
listen. I'm the same actually, so it's funny. But again, I'm not surprised at this point that I do the same thing. But yeah, mine are color. I mean, personal. I even have for business is one color, personal is another color. I mean,
Mhm,
yeah, I
mhm.
for everything.
And when you like, so I find when I use the colors, it's like I can instantly see. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I get. It's an instant thing where I see my day. Like even
Well,
so,
yeah. The
I
most
have when I
important things
have
stick out.
introduction meetings. Like so, for example, Monday, Tuesday next week, I've got 6 meetings for new companies I connected with for to get their sales teams into inception. Right. So literally, that's a color. So
Yeah.
at a glance, I can say, is the week productive or not? Because it's colors, right? So it's like, okay, I got way too many X, Y, and Z and not enough A, B, C. So it's like, okay, what are my 5 moves? And just with a glance, I'm like, okay, this, and this is off balance. It's off kilter. How do I get it back on kilter? I add more.
Yeah.
Do I delete? I look at, even things as introductory calls when somebody's trying to sell me something is a
Yeah.
specific color. Because if I look at it and I say, I need a spot for a company that's going to, want to put
Yeah.
10, 12, 15, 20
More
people into
priority.
inception, I look and I see, okay, all the spots that they're requesting are requesting demos and stuff from different things. I'm going to move a demo,
Yeah.
right? Because I'll look at it and say, do I really need that today? Or can it wait a day or two? Is it important? Yes. But what is the priority? What's going to get me closer to or further from my goal, right? And I don't know how many times in a day I do this now. Like, do you do this all the time?
All the
Where it's
time.
like I just kind of look at myself and I go, just
I
two choices.
literally and
Yeah.
I mostly do it. So I might do it for the wrong reason, but I do it anytime I'm like I feel like I'm not going the direction that I should be going, and it's like hold on,
Mm.
stop, and what am I doing, and
Hmm.
where am I going? Nope, next choice, and and then it was kind of again shout out to Rico. I mean it's really literally changed my life because again those bad days, those bad decisions, those bad things. I used to beat myself up, and the whole day is destroyed. I'm like, fuck this. Maybe even the week is destroyed, and now it's like, next choice. And
Next choice.
get back
Exactly.
on.
It's and you know what? It's pretty freeing, isn't it?
It's
Like
very free.
it's very freeing, that
It is.
idea of choice. And you know what? It is for a lot of people. It's a paradigm shift because they're not used to making
Literally for
choices,
me. Yeah.
right? And they're just used to kind of coming in. They're like, okay, well, I'm going to do my day. I'm going to, and they don't make choices that correspond to the vision they have, the goals they have. Like, who was it this morning? Somebody just put out Kenneth.
Yeah.
Kenneth just put out a post this morning where he was talking about,
Yeah.
being you and
Yes.
being authentic and honest in you. And I replied back to him this morning because I said, you know what? It's the amount of people that spend tens of thousands of dollars on school for something they don't really want to do, their parents want them to do, or their family's always done it, or it's crazy. I saw when I had a 27 reps in one building and about total of about 37 to 42 depending on the day, um, under me, we would bring in all these new really young reps.
Yeah.
And I remember having conversations of saying like, well, what brought you into freight and logistics? They're like, oh, well, you know what? I went to school for metallurgy. I'm like, metallurgy? You want to be a metallurgist? And no, my
What?
dad was.
Uh,
So it was
I don't
like
even
the
know what
way,
that
and I'm like,
is.
okay, how much was your school? He goes, well, I'm 30 grand in debt now. I'm like, okay, hold on. Because for me, it's like, I never, growing up, I mean, I think I wanted to be Superman and Batman. I think every kid does. But when it came to a career, like I was a grade 9 dropout. I was, I
Yeah.
wanted to be a gangster and sell drugs as my career. Um, and I kind of fell into sales. So I
Yeah.
learned to love this career. But
It, I
like,
love that you said that though,
yeah,
because I think so. I've always done sales and worked a lot of different places, so I've experienced a lot of different people. But I've always ran into those people, like you're saying, with degrees, philosophy degree or this kind of degree or that kind of degree, and they're doing sales, and it's like, huh?
Hmm.
And
And
so
have you ever sat down and had like an in-depth conversation as to like
oh yeah,
what made you decide to do? Let me share a quick story with you, okay? So, and this goes right back to Kenneth's post, and I know Kenneth is on. So he says, Kenneth says, congratulations on the 6 intros
yeah,
next week.
shout out
Thanks, brother. I
Kenneth.
really
Be
appreciate that,
you.
man. But Kenneth, your post was remarkable this morning. I mean, I love it. And we had a sales rep come into the office, and you guys all you hear DJ and I talk. We're all about there's 10 bars. There's 10 bars. Like every step you get to, there's still 10 bars. I don't care how successful you are, how great of a life you have. You can have a 10 times greater life if you truly put your effort and energy towards it. And I had
Yes,
this
sir.
one gentleman in my office, and we're talking, and he says, I really want to figure this sales thing out. And I said, okay. I said, here's the thing: you have to love this industry.
You have to.
If you do not love it, if it is not your career, if it's not something you absolutely love, you will never reach the heights you're capable of. And I said, in every industry, no matter what you get into in your life, if you don't love what you're doing, you will never reach the heights. It's like they say, if your goal is this big and the obstacles are this big, you'll never achieve your goal. Your goal has to supersede any obstacles. You will go through mountains to make it work. And we had probably a 45-minute to an hour conversation. Check this out. This is crazy. So when we left the car, he's like, man, I am fired up. I'm gonna crush this. And I'm thinking, I just did my job pretty good, right? I went home on the weekend. I was like, yeah, man. I was
Yeah.
puffing up my number. I'm like, dude, I did my job pretty good. He comes in on Monday morning, goes, can I talk to you? I go, absolutely, brother. Come on in. He goes, here's my resignation letter. And I went, what? He goes, I really want to be a police officer. And I went, so I talked him out of the industry. Okay. Now hold on. Now I'm like the sales trainer in the company. So my job isn't to have people leave, it's to
Yeah, you're
inspire
not supposed to
people to
be making
stay.
people quit.
And I'm staring at him and he goes, your conversation was so in depth and it fired me up. And he goes, I realized I've wanted to be a police officer my whole life. And I looked at him and I went, you're going to make it. And I said, it's exactly what I told you. I go, this is the first time like a motivational speech has turned somebody like you're talking logistics sales, police officer. Like we're
Yeah,
talking the
yeah, yeah,
total
yeah.
opposite
Oh, yeah.
spectrum almost, right? It's like kind of being logistics sales, then you're gonna be go and be a scientist. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sitting there going, okay, well, and no, lo and behold, like 9 months later, and here was the beautiful thing. So here's a lesson for everyone that gets advice from people or asks people to help them. Keep them in the loop to your progress. This young man would email me every month. When he finished the academy, he would email
Oh,
me. When
that's
he
awesome.
finished like the boot camp thing, he would email me. When he went into a new training, he would email me. And when he got his job, he emailed me and he sent me the nicest email. He was like, because of you, I'm living my dream career. And it was crazy how cool that felt.
Oh, hell
But
yeah.
he did something. Every waking moment that he could was towards that achievement of the goal. So and it's funny because in fire services and police services and paramedic and stuff, um, there's a big push for women and minorities. And so white males they used to be kind of at the front of the line. Now they're kind of at the back of the line. I know this is a fact because my son's going for firefighting and
Yeah.
every fire company is telling him, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. It's a good thing because they're hiring for communities, because people feel more comfortable with people from their community who
Of
can
course.
speak their language. And the diversity of the GTA of Toronto, especially, there's a huge diversity. You're literally you're Brampton with this, which is mostly Indian. Like there's all sorts of different communities, and speaking the language of the community matters, right? Like you're hurt, you're an older lady, you want to be comforted by somebody that speaks your language, you want to be able to understand people. So that part I get. But to see how fast he went through the ranks and how fast he got his job told me this guy's in love with what he does.
Yes.
And I was trying to
Yes.
keep him in logistics. I mean, it's just crazy, crazy. So,
I'm so
I,
glad you brought that up though, because I think you touched on a few things that. So one, would you agree? I think with sales, you mentioned you have to love it, but I think even more than loving sales or what we do, you have to love people. If you don't
Yeah.
truly love interacting and dealing with people, you're going to hate sales because I mean it's you see all sides of people. And especially with what we do, we see a lot of the bad. Fuck you, hang up. You know that a lot of rejection, a lot of bad things. So if you
Mhm.
don't truly love the fact that you're trying to help somebody else, either
Yes, I
fix a
think you hit that
vehicle,
nail on the head. Not necessarily people trying to help somebody.
yeah,
And you know one thing I've noticed is people that are gamification people, like people who like games, are competitive, usually make really good salespeople because the
yeah,
repetitiveness of phone calls, instead of being a, oh, I got rejected again, it's like, oh man, I'm gonna pass this level
getting
next time. And
closer
I'm,
one
you know
more
what I
time.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
constantly challenging yourself, right? As
yeah.
opposed to the mundaneness. Is that even a word? Mundaneness, where you just the repetitiveness, or mundane, like the
Yeah,
Groundhog
yeah,
Day.
yeah.
I
I
don't even
think
know
you're
what the
right.
word would be. You know what I'm saying, right, though,
Yeah,
brother?
yeah,
Yeah. And it's like that. Yeah, you're bang on, man. You're bang
you
on.
know what
You
I'm
gotta
saying. But
love.
but
Yeah.
then I think even deeper than that, Tom Bill mentioned it too, and I think it was so true. If you don't love what you do every day, when it gets hard, especially high achievers, if you guys are like Dan is saying, you're wanting to keep going to the next levels, up and up and up. If you don't love what you do, when it gets hard, you're going to quit. You're
Hmm.
going to hit a wall hard enough that you will quit. You have to
Hmm.
love it so much that nothing's going to stop you.
Well,
I mean,
I'll share this with you and everyone. So, I loved my career to
yeah,
the point where we opened up a brokerage in 2005, and by 2008, beginning of 2008, we were $37 million brokerage. Like, we scaled and scaled fast,
oh yeah,
and I loved it. I was loving every minute of it.
yeah,
2008 came into 2008 towards 2009 when the economy crashed. I took a turn that I've never took in the almost 30 years I've been doing this, and I hated the industry.
yeah,
I hated people. I hated the cheapskates who I busted my balls for years, and this is how I got treated. Like, and all I'm doing high
yeah,
quotations here, everyone, because it was such a shit mindset that it was like, but I hated everybody. I actually left the industry, and my company went from 37 million to 300,000 in about 7 months. So you want to talk falling off a cliff and like zero parachute, and as Dean says, the dead cat hitting the ground.
yeah.
It hit to
Oh,
the
it
point
is.
where I owned a company. I had two partners in the company. I was the operating partner. Rob and Jesse. Rob owned Transcend Freight Systems, and so did Jesse. Jesse was the money guy. He
Yeah,
made sure when we grew, we had the funds to grow, because back in that time, um, credit was just as important, probably like as important, if not more important than now,
mm.
because the dollar was shifting so much and everything. And
Ah, okay, yeah,
carriers,
yeah,
just like,
yeah,
especially as a new company, it's like you need credit. And I mean, for the first probably probably right up until we closed our doors, there was some, because we were trying to break into the US market as well. And there were
yeah,
carriers
yeah.
that like COD. So cash
Yeah.
is very key when you own a brokerage. And
Yes, sir.
um I remember the dead cat, because it came to a point where I hated, not disliked,
Mm.
hated the industry. I thought people were just assholes. And it's like, why would you act like this? Over the
Exactly.
last 2 years, you've had these goals and you had objectives, and I've helped you achieve it. But it was all my perspective. It wasn't theirs. They were trying to save their company. They, kind of like what happened when COVID hit, right? People are saying, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa, whoa, we
yeah.
need to,
Well,
who's going to step up to the plate and be that next level. So
yeah,
every time when we talk about these things, and I talk about next level, I was the opposite for years. Like, I'm speaking from experience and
yeah.
knowing. Like, I said
Oh,
to myself, how many
same,
times I've said to myself, DJ,
same.
where would I be right now? Now, don't get me wrong, everything happens for a reason. I am where I am supposed to be, but you can't help but wonder, when you own a $37 million company, in 2.5 years, you built it to that, where you would be
If
15
that,
years later.
yeah.
Where would that be if I
Hmm.
never fell out of love? Right.
Yeah.
So, not that I regret it. It is what it is. And I've learned a big lesson from it. That lesson has driven
Lessons.
everything I've done further. Right.
And as long as you learn the lesson, it's on to the next
Yeah.
chapter, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Lisa says, congratulations, Dan. You helped him realize his and achieve his dream. 100%. It just wasn't in the field that I had initially thought, oh, this dude's going to come in. Like, I really, when I left on the weekend, I remember telling Christine, I said, oh, I had this great conversation with the dude. He's going to come in on Monday and he's going to crush it. Like, this is going to be the next superstar. And he walks out. It was just like crazy. It was insane. So go on, DJ. I apologize, brother. It was been a total
Oh,
monopoly
that is
today.
so funny. No, no, no. You're good. You're good. Ryan has a good. The what ifs are great lessons. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it keeps you remembering that mindset and perspective you were in that was totally wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Great. So my, I guess my wins this week was able to help out a fellow watcher. So shout out to you. Hopefully you enjoy the new place you're at. And really the big win this week was I've been talking about it for a while, but the whole flea market thing, it's finally really progressing now and actually really making some movements. So it's so exciting. I can't even explain how exciting it is, really. But yeah, we were just we weren't sure, and it's been an 8 month thing that it was a slow process, but I think we're really starting to move. So it's
Can
just
I ask you something about that, DJ? Because I think this is a big lesson for people. 8 months. It's a long time to chase one single thing. Did you have moments in that 8 months where you're like, is this
all the
the
time.
right thing? Is this, is this is it the universe giving me these obstacles and maybe it's not supposed to happen? Like, can you share with everybody kind of that inner mindset? Because some people watching, listening right now might be going through that, right?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
It
a
was
difficult
so
thing.
so honestly, yeah. I mean, and thank you for even asking that. But yeah, I mean, this was when me and Maggie found this. This was like, and we got involved in it, and I really got involved in the community, and then seeing Mags in it and that stuff. We were like, man, we love this. And so we were like, kind of like our first house. And I don't know if anybody knows our first house story, but we when we're determined on something, we don't really back off. And so we fell in love with it, and there was so many times that I was like, okay, I'm killing myself for this. I'm holding on to this dream. Am I like screwing myself from like going so much on this? But it was
Because you probably
I
left
just
other
knew
things
like,
that you were pursuing behind in
oh yeah,
order to
oh I was
pursue
leaving
this.
lots of
And
things. Yes,
yeah,
yeah. Other opportunities coming, other things happening, but it was like no, everything. I mean, even at times when I really needed just something to happen, other things would happen to kind of almost that like, well, hey, maybe this is your way to get off. But I just I stuck with it. We stuck with it. We stuck to it, regardless of how hard it's been. But yeah, it's very very close now, so it's super exciting. So yeah,
good.
it's
Well, I can't wait when it's signed, sealed, delivered, and you can hold the paper up for us
oh,
and
I
I'll
can't wait
show us
either.
all and take
Uh,
that next step and the next chapter in your guys' life. And I know,
Thank you.
I asked you that question for a very specific reason because when we go for big dreams, big goals, the bigger the dreams, the bigger the goals usually come with bigger obstacles.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
often here's my perspective on it. Every obstacle is a test. Do you really want what's coming down the pipe?
Oh, I love
And
that you said that. Yes, that's
yeah, and
exactly.
even with customer challenges, you got a customer, you're doing a project, there's a big issue in the project. That's a test. How are you going to step outside of the creative box? How are you going to turn this challenge into an opportunity and show that customer they made the right decision? You see, and I think so many people, when it comes to challenges, they do not stop and say, what is the opportunity in here? Like, listen, we deal with man and machine. It's rolling steel down the highway. We are dealing with hundreds of thousands, millions of other people on the road. When I was VP of sales at Transcend Freight Systems, we had a team, Wayne and Lori, husband wife team, one of the best teams I've ever worked with in my life. Like these two were on it.
Yeah,
They were coming down the highway. I think it was like um, it was some political figure in a state, in a city. Their son was drunk, came off, like merged onto the freeway and went right underneath the trailer. Right. Nothing. They were literally driving. They pass the on ramp, and this car comes out like this. Massive accident. One person in the vehicle died. It was like Lori was like just traumatized beyond all
Jesus.
belief because she was driving. Wayne was in the bunk. Like the best team on earth. Somebody else. Like you look at the amount of four wheelers on the road that just slam their brakes in front of a tractor trailer. It's crazy how they're just so oblivious to, hey,
It
do you
is
know how much
scary.
weight I
Actually,
have behind
It's
these?
scary.
It's
Yeah, it's
scary.
scary.
It's scary. Scary.
It is.
And it's that obliviousness. And I think we, for the most part, until we consciously become aware of that. And that's why I loved when you said, yes, there were days when, no, man, is this right? You have
Yeah.
this opportunity. You have this opportunity. You have this opportunity. It's like, okay, oh man, like, but this
Oh,
is your
it's
mission, your goal,
torture.
your
Yeah.
dream, your desire. And
Yes.
I honor you, brother, for sticking
Uh,
to that and
Thank you, man.
making that happen. Because I know I've been
Yeah.
privy to a few conversations where people have said, hey, can you guys do this? You're like, oh, it's like, that would be so cool to do that. But you're like, yeah, man, I love it. I think you're
Yes,
awesome.
sir.
Way to go,
Yes,
brother.
sir. Thank you,
Way
man.
to
Hey,
go.
there you got some good comments up here, Jeff.
Yeah, we do. We do. So we talked about Ryan's what ifs, right? What ifs are great
Yep.
lessons. Then we have helping others is a good thing no matter what the industry they choose. You never know what will help. You're absolutely right, Jeff.
Absolutely.
Absolutely
Just
right.
help. If you can
Yeah.
help and it's not going to take you out, like help.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can't ever
I,
do any
I
harm.
have you ever had a prospect where they're like, oh man, like I'm tired. I could use the capacity, but I just can't pay those prices. And have
Yeah.
you ever said, here's the carrier I use, call them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah.
it's just paying it forward. What was it Dean said? Always leave something in it for the next person. I love that
Yes.
saying.
Love that.
Jeff
Love that.
says, terrific week. I'm pumped. Oh, the pumped is in the boom caps.
Yes. I
All
like
wins,
it.
baby, no losses.
Hey,
Nice, brother. James
nice.
says,
Yeah.
freaking awesome, DJ. That's great,
Hey, thank
DJ.
you, Jerry. Thank you, guys.
Jeff says, give me those challenges all day long. I eat them up and spit them out as fast as possible, but you have to jump over those hurdles to succeed. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes, sir.
no, we're sorry, we're over time. I was going to share another
Nah,
story, but we'll
that's
we'll
okay.
do we'll,
I
we'll
will
do
tell you
that
my
story
lesson
another
this
day.
week, though, guys. Ask your closest friends, associates, ask them what they do, because honestly, my partner who is helping me with this first acquisition deal, I've been doing some business consulting and asked him because I know he's a CPA. I didn't know he did CFO services and business consulting as well. So he's meeting me today to meet with these ladies to hopefully help them out, the furniture ladies. So hopefully we can help them out. But yeah, find out your closest people what they actually do. I don't know why I never asked him besides just being an accountant if he did more. So that was,
Well, DJ, the
I don't know
circle
what to
that any one of us have right now can probably be expanded tenfold simply by asking those questions.
do. Yes, I agree.
A
I
simple,
agree.
hey, what else can you do? What else
Yeah.
can I help with? What else do you do? Is there any other way? Like you like working with somebody, you utilize every piece of it.
Yes.
100%. 100%.
Yes.
Richard says, have a great weekend, all.
Great weekend out.
Maggie says, Jeff with confidence. Love it. 100%.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Jeff brings on the confidence shoes. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bring on Monday. I'm ready. Yes, sir.
Oh, I love it. I
Now,
love it. Jeff's skipping the weekend and going to Monday.
yeah.
What?
Who
Hey,
needs
thank you
stinking
guys,
weekends, man?
everybody. I know we're over time, so thank you everybody for joining us weekly, like you do, and making the show just so great with all of your feedback, everything like that. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there this weekend, Sunday, guys. If you forgot, you got 2 days to figure it out. Figure it out. And Sales Chatter
There's a lot
Live.
of people out there right now going, oh my God, DJ, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I've been saved that way so many times. That's the only reason I gave that shout out. So you're welcome, guys.
I gotta share this. So my wife says my daughter's at school and she says, I think I'm gonna come home this weekend. My wife says, perfect. Are you gonna clean my car? She goes, what? My wife goes, well, it is Mother's Day.
It is
And
Mother's
then it's
Day.
like, you don't see any of the dots. And she's like, you forgot, didn't you? And she's like, yeah. Yeah. And I said to Christine, I go, that is hilarious because the first thing Jessica will say is, what do you mean I'm going to clean your car? Like, I'm going to clean my car, not your car. It's like, it's Mother's Day. Yeah. Okay.
Shit. shit.
Love it.
She got caught. She got caught.
She got
forgot.
totally
Hey,
roasted.
you better
It's
get your
awesome.
mom something nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Better get
If you're watching,
again, American Logistics, Centurion Trucking, Daman, thank you guys for making this possible. With you, Jeff. Yes, bring home Monday, y'all. Good quote to take us out. Actually, this quote too. I don't know. Tell me what you think of this. I think it went well, but we'll see. Warren Buffett. Actually,
today
he
took a
twisted
bunch of twists and turns, brother. It was like friggin' an F1
There was
track
lots,
today.
but
So
Warren Buffett, I think twisted this one. There's an original one, but I like actually Warren Buffett's, and it's they say the chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. The chains you put around yourself now have enormous consequences as you go through life. Remember that, guys. Your habits.
that actually works really well for the conversation today, brother.
Thank you. Thank
you. To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education